world where Hollywood dinosaurs are often more fiction than fact, one prehistoric oddball in Jurassic World Dominion stood out for all the right reasons. Welcome, fossil fans and movie buffs alike. I'm Dr. Emma Leafeater, and we're about to embark on a journey where Tinseltown meets the Cretaceous period. Buckle up, because the truth is stranger and more fascinating than fiction. For decades, Hollywood has given us dinosaurs that are bigger, scarier, and more monstrous than their real-life counterparts. From Godzilla-sized T-Rexes to overgrown velociraptors, accuracy often takes a backseat to spectacle. Dr. Rex Digger, look, I love a good dinosaur flick as much as the next fossil head, but sometimes the liberties taken make us paleontologists want to tear our hair out if we had any left after all those long days in the field. But amidst the CGI chaos of Jurassic World Dominion, one dinosaur lumbered into view that had a scientist sitting up in our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Therizinosaurus, the unexpected star of scientific accuracy in a sea of Hollywood dinosaurs. Now, I know what you are thinking. Come on, Doc. That weird-looking thing with the giant claws, that can't be real. Oh, but it is. And the story of how this bizarre beast went from puzzling fossil fragments to silver screen star is one that spans continents, centuries, and will challenge everything you thought you knew about dinosaurs. But before we dig into the nitty-gritty of our star dinosaur, we need to clear up some misconceptions. You see, the Therizinosaurus belongs to a group that often gets overlooked in the glitz and glamour of dino documentaries, the herbivores. The plant eaters, often relegated to background characters while walking buffets for the big, toothy carnivores. But here's the thing, herbivores were the real stars of the Mesozoic era, and it's high time they got their moment in the spotlight. Dr. Flora Timebest, when we think of dinosaurs, we often picture T-Rex or Velociraptor, but herbivores made up the majority of dinosaur species. They were the foundation of these ancient ecosystems. So, let's bust some myths, shall we? Misconception number 1, herbivores were boring. Nothing could be further from the truth. These animals came in a staggering variety of shapes and sizes, from the tiny Compsognathus to the enormous Argentinosaurus. We're talking animals with necks as long as school buses, others with more horns than a symphony orchestra, and some, like our friend the Therizinosaurus, that looked like they were designed by a committee that couldn't agree on anything. Dr. Bonesy McDigger, herbivorous dinosaurs developed some of the most bizarre and specialized body plans in Earth's history. It's like nature was going through an experimental phase, and boy, did it get creative. Misconception number 2, herbivores were defenseless. Tell that to a rhino or a hippo. Many herbivorous dinosaurs had formidable defenses. Stegosaur had its stegomizer, a spiky tail that could turn predators into prehistoric shish kebabs. Triceratops had a built-in shield and a face full of horns. And Ankylosaurus, it was basically a tank that could photosynthesize. And finally, misconception number 3, herbivores were simple. In reality, these animals often had incredibly complex digestive systems to break down tough plant matter. Some may have even had gut bacteria similar to modern cows. So, as we embark on our journey to uncover the truth about the Therizinosaurus and its surprising star turn in Jurassic World Dominion, remember this: in the world of dinosaurs, it's not always the sharpest teeth that tell the most interesting stories. Sometimes it's the ones with a taste for salad that really make history. Coming up next, the bizarre discovery that our paleontologists scratching their heads for decades, and how a Hollywood blockbuster got it right. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Gentle Giant, Jurassic World Dominion's surprising accuracy. When we left off, we were about to dive into the discovery of our star dinosaur. Therizinosaurus. But first, let's set the stage. The year is 1948. World War II has just ended, and the Cold War is in its infancy. In the remote Gobi Desert of Mongolia, a joint Soviet-Mongolian expedition is scouring an unforgiving landscape for fossils. Led by Soviet paleontologist Evgeny Maleev, the team is battling scorching heat, sandstorms, and the ever-present threat of dehydration, but their perseverance is about to pay off in ways they could never have imagined. Actor Maleev told Vorishchi, "Come quickly, I found something strange." Narrator, what Maleev had uncovered were fossilized claws, but not just any claws. These were nearly a meter long. Dr. Chloe Digger, when I first saw casts of those claws, I thought there must be some mistake. They were longer than my arm. Nothing we knew of at the time could explain them. At first, scientists thought they might belong to a giant turtle. Then, as more fossils were uncovered, the picture became both clearer and more confusing. Fast forward to the 1960s, more expeditions to Mongolia's Nemegt Formation are uncovering additional Therizinosaurus remains, but the puzzle is far from complete. It would take decades of further discoveries, not just in Mongolia, but also in China and Western North America, before scientists could piece together a clear picture of the Therizinosaurus and its relatives. Dr. Bonzi McDigger, the Therizinosaurus was a game-changer. Here was a theropod, the group that includes T. Rex and Velociraptor, but it was an herbivore. It challenged everything we thought we knew about dinosaur evolution. You see, the Therizinosaurus belonged to a group called the Therizinosaurs. These were theropods that had evolved to become plant eaters. Imagine if lions suddenly decided to become vegetarians, and you get an idea of how weird this was. Paleoartist reconstructing the Therizinosaurus was like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle where half the pieces are missing and the box picture is smudged. We had to rely on closely related species to fill in the gaps. As more fossils were discovered and our understanding grew, the image of the Therizinosaurus changed. From a giant, clawed turtle to a sort of pseudo-sloth to the bizarre but magnificent creature we now know it to be. But even as scientists were piecing together the Therizinosaurus puzzle, Hollywood was taking notice. The idea of a gentle giant with claws that could slice through steel was too good to pass up. Which brings us to Jurassic World Dominion, in a franchise known more for its thrills than its scientific accuracy. The Therizinosaurus was about to make its big screen debut, and surprisingly, they got it a lot right. But just how accurate was this portrayal, and what can it tell us about the real Therizinosaurus that roamed the Earth 70 million years ago? Coming up next, we break down the features of the Therizinosaurus and see how Hollywood's version stacks up against the fossil record. Stay with us. Now, let's dive into what made this dinosaur so unique, and how accurately Jurassic World Dominion portrayed it. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Therizinosaurus in all its bizarre glory. Standing up to 10 meters long and potentially weighing over 5 tons, this was no small herbivore. But let's address the elephant, or should I say, the giant sloth in the room. Those claws, measuring up to 1 meter in length, they're the largest known claws of any land animal in Earth's history. Dr. Sharpie talon, where these claws were first discovered, they were so huge and curved that some scientists thought they belonged to a giant turtle. It took years to realize they were attached to this bizarre theropod dinosaur. But unlike the killing claws of its carnivorous cousins, these massive talons likely had a variety of uses. They may have been used to reach high branches, defend against predators, or even for display during mating rituals. Jurassic World Dominion does an admirable job showcasing the versatility of its claws. We see the dinosaur using them to scratch trees, intimidate other creatures, and even in combat. Moving beyond the claws, let's look at the overall body shape. The Therizinosaurus had a small head perched on a long, flexible neck, Its body was rotund, with a large gut likely used to ferment tough plant material. The movie version gets many of these details right. The proportions are largely accurate, from the small head to the pot-bellied body. Even the posture, with the body held more upright than many theropods, aligns with current scientific understanding. Dr. Leafy Green, the body shape of the Therizinosaurus tells us a lot about its lifestyle. That long neck and those claws were perfect for reaching high into prehistoric trees to grab leaves and fruits. The Therizinosaurus lived in a lush, forested environment during the late Cretaceous period, about 70 million years ago. The movie does a good job of placing it in a similar setting, surrounded by appropriate prehistoric plants. Now, let's talk about those feet. The Therizinosaurus had 4 toes, with the first toe being much smaller and held off the ground. This is accurately depicted in the film. The head of the Therizinosaurus was relatively small compared to its body, with a beaked mouth perfect for stripping vegetation. While we don't have a complete skull, related species give us a good idea of what it looked like. Jurassic World Dominion's version is a bit more menacing, with larger eyes and a slightly different shape, but it's not too far off from what we think the real animal looked like. Dr. Scully McNaugh's one area where the movie takes some creative license is the skin. We don't have direct evidence of the Therizinosaurus skin, but many of its relatives have feathers. It's quite possible that the Therizinosaurus was at least partially feathered. The movie opts for a scaly appearance, which makes for a more traditionally dinosaur-like look. While not necessarily inaccurate, a feathered version might have been closer to reality. Overall, Jurassic World Dominion's the Therizinosaurus is one of the more accurate dinosaur portrayals we've seen in mainstream cinema. It captures the bizarre nature of this gentle giant, from its massive claws to its bulky body, and places it in an appropriate environment. In the film, we see the Therizinosaurus as a solitary creature, moving quietly through dense vegetation. This aligns well with what paleontologists believe about its lifestyle. Dr. Dino behavior. Based on what we know about the Therizinosaurus and its relatives, it's likely these animals were indeed relatively solitary browsers. They didn't need to form herds for protection like some herbivores, thanks to their impressive size and those formidable claws. The movie depicts the Therizinosaurus using its long neck and massive claws to reach high into the trees for foliage. This is spot on. Those matured to long claws weren't for slashing predators. They were glorified garden tools. Dr. Prehistoric plants. The late Cretaceous period, when the Therizinosaurus lived, saw the rise of flowering plants. Its diet likely consisted of leaves, fruits, and possibly seeds from these early angiosperms, as well as ferns and conifers. Dr. Prehistoric plants. The late Cretaceous period, when the Therizinosaurus lived, saw the rise of flowering plants. Its diet likely consisted of leaves, fruits, and possibly seeds from these early angiosperms, as well as ferns and conifers. Dr. Wild Watcher. Many herbivores today, like hippos or cassowaries, can be incredibly dangerous when threatened. With its size and those claws, the Therizinosaurus would have been a formidable opponent for any predator. It's worth noting that the Therizinosaurus, despite being an herbivore, was still a theropod, the same group that includes the Velociraptor and T-Rex. The movie subtly nods to this shared ancestry in its movement and posture. The film takes some creative liberties with the Therizinosaurus' sensory abilities, portraying it with keen eyesight and hearing. While we can't know for certain, it's plausible that it had well-developed senses to detect predators. Dr. Nervy McNeuron. Many modern herbivores have excellent senses, given its environment and lifestyle. The Therizinosaurus likely had good hearing and possibly a keen sense of smell. Visual acuity is harder to determine, but those large eyes in the movie version aren't entirely unrealistic. Now, let's address one of the more fanciful aspects of the movie, the interaction between the Therizinosaurus and other species that never coexisted in reality. Dr. Time Tracker, Jurassic World Dominion takes liberties by placing dinosaurs from different time periods and locations together. In reality, the Therizinosaurus lived alongside creatures like Tarbosaurus, a relative of T. Rex, and various ornithomimids, but never encountered many of the other species shown in the film. While this mix and match approach isn't scientifically accurate, it does serve a purpose in the narrative. It allows the filmmakers to showcase a diverse range of dinosaurs and create exciting interactions. Despite these creative liberties, Jurassic World Dominion's portrayal of the Therizinosaurus behavior hits many of the right notes. It shows us a peaceful herbivore capable of defending itself, a solitary browser adapted to a forested environment, and hints at the complex nature of this fascinating theropod-turned-vegetarian. From the early days of stop-motion animation to today's CGI marvels, dinosaurs have captivated audiences for generations. But as our scientific understanding has evolved, so too has the potential for more accurate representations. Film critic Jurassic World Dominion's portrayal of the Therizinosaurus marks a significant step forward. It shows that accuracy and entertainment aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, the truth can be even more fascinating than fiction. The impact of these portrayals goes beyond mere entertainment. Accurate depictions in popular media can spark curiosity and inspire the next generation of scientists. Young student, after seeing the Therizinosaurus in the movie, I started reading everything I could find about it. I never knew herbivore dinosaurs could be so cool. Dr. Fossil Future. Every time a movie gets something right about dinosaurs, it's a win for science communication. It gives us a platform to discuss real paleontology with the public. In the age of the internet, movie dinosaurs often lead to broader discussions about prehistoric life. Accurate portrayals can fuel these conversations with real scientific content. But creating scientifically accurate dinosaurs for film isn't without its challenges. We have to balance scientific accuracy with the needs of storytelling and the expectations of the audience. Sometimes, a little artistic license is necessary to create a compelling on-screen presence. The process of bringing dinosaurs to life on screen often involves close collaboration between paleontologists and visual effects artists. This partnership has led to increasingly sophisticated and accurate depictions over the years. As we've seen with the Therizinosaurus, when filmmakers strive for accuracy, the results can be both entertaining and educational. But it's important to remember that movies are not documentaries. Even in Jurassic World Dominion, there are moments where scientific accuracy takes a back seat to drama and spectacle. As viewers, it's crucial to approach these films with a critical eye and a sense of curiosity. Looking to the future, advancements in paleontology continue to reshape our understanding of prehistoric life. Who knows what new discoveries might influence the dinosaurs we see on screen in years to come. Dr. New discoveries. We're constantly refining our knowledge of dinosaurs. New technologies like cord scanning and molecular paleontology are revealing details about dinosaur biology that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. Perhaps the next blockbuster will feature dinosaurs with colors based on preserved pigments, or show complex social behaviors we've only just begun to understand. As we conclude our journey through the world of the Therizinosaurus and its Hollywood debut, let's remember that the line between fact and fiction in dinosaur media is ever shifting. Movies like Jurassic World Dominion, when they get things right, can serve as a bridge between the public and the fascinating world of paleontology. So the next time you watch a dinosaur movie, remember the Therizinosaurus. Remember that sometimes reality can be even more incredible than fiction. And who knows, the next great paleontological discovery could be inspired by a kid who watched a movie and wondered, is that really what dinosaurs were like? Hit that subscribe button now and press on the video now popping on your screen. And sure you will love it. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and see you there.